Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday, so we're doing Business Tarot Tuesdays tonight. And if you're arriving, if you are coming across my page tonight, if we've never met before, definitely introduce yourself. Tell me who you are. If you want a reading, I would love to do a reading for you. But yeah, I'm Ashley Bradley. I'm an intuitive business coach, and every Tuesday I go live and I do business readings. So that might be something about your business or a business that you've been dreaming about. It might be related to you and your career or gifts. Sometimes money and purpose comes in. Oh, hello, Melissa. Hi. So yeah, we just kind of do readings and we have fun together. And if you're arriving and you want to do a reading, drop in the comments, hey, I want to do a reading. And I have Solange who helps me out. She is amazing and magical, and she helps keep everything flowing. And something new that I'm doing is that if you want a reading, I give a number. As of right now, I mean, it's pretty chill, but I'd like to let the universe be involved in what order I go in. So we have been using this cool little like number system where Solange will tell a number and I'll just go to the number that I'm drawn to. So we do jump around a little bit, but I do want to say that the way that I really feel like things like this work, I feel like it's just kind of how life works in general, is that we tend to hear the messages that we're meant to hear at different times. So let's say there's a few readings that happen that you're listening to as you're waiting for your reading, and you might hear something and be like, wow, like that really resonates, or it almost feels like that applies to me as well. Well, if it resonates, it's likely because that message was for you as well. So we're going to really just trust in the universal consciousness to give us flow, give us sort of the order that we go in tonight. But if you're here and you want a reading, please just say, I'd like a reading. And then when we get to your turn, I will ask that you have a question, ideally something specific about your business, so we have a place to look. We can totally do just like random card pulls if you do want to just do something general. But I do ask that we stick to business topics. So business, career, money, purpose. That is where I tend to get the most information. So a question within that capacity would be really great. Yeah, so I know that we do have someone coming in at 6:15. That's from my group. And I let people from that group get little kind of reservation spots throughout the evening. So we do have one I know coming up in the next 10 minutes or so, but we will dive into readings right away. So if Melissa or Emily, if you'd like a reading, or anybody else that's watching, Solange is going to give you a number. So just if you see Solange, she's doing the number thing, and that'll get us going into these readings. I did just want to thank you guys, because I feel like there's a few things that have like really come to light for me. Even the last part of the week last week and things today, of just really feeling appreciative to have this space, even if it's like our first time meeting and coming together. I just feel like being able to come into a live with you and share this time with you, it feels really healing for me as well. Like if any of you guys do energy healing or receive energy healing, they always tell you in like your like Reiki training that you can't like give a healing without receiving one as well. You can't be in that energy without also benefiting from it. And so I feel like as soon as I step into this space with all of you, that my frequency just like shoots up. And no matter what was going on in my day or my week, if I was feeling stuck or overwhelmed with something, I feel like when I step into this space, like it doesn't become about me anymore. It becomes just about you guys and pulling through information to be in whatever's in the greatest and highest good of all. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for allowing me to have a space like this to show up and connecting with me, because you guys are making it like by you showing up and allowing me to do a reading for you. it's allowing me to do what I love and to have that experience. And I feel like that's just really important right now with everything going on. So just thank you for doing that. Thank you for showing up. So I know that Emily has a number. I know that maybe Melissa, if you're still hanging out tonight, would like a number. So I think Emily is probably going to be the first person. So Emily, tell me what your question is, and we'll start with you, Emily. I love how we can put this little thing on the screen like that. But yes. Do you want to join? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can totally join live. That's the other thing too, is we do have a link that if you want to join live and you want to like pop in and be on audio or video, it'll sort of like move me over and you'd be in the other part of the screen over here. So you can totally do that. You can stay in the comments, whatever feels good for you tonight. I know we kind of get like Zoomed and video called out sometime these days. But Emily, I'm ready to do your question whenever you are ready, and then we'll dive in. What else can I talk to you guys about in the meantime? I know that it's Mercury retrograde, and I know that that's like a thing that can be filled with a lot of like kind of energy, kind of pushing against it. But just remember, I feel like I have to remind myself of this too, so it helps me to say it out loud. Like all the re-energy, like feeling renewed, rechecking things. I want to say like anything that starts with the word restored, like all of those words really come to mind when it comes to Mercury in retrograde. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I feel like if anything, it just brings a bit of an intensity to situations. But I think the good thing is that things kind of get released a lot faster that either weren't a fit or weren't meant to be. I think also that things kind of come to light that maybe we didn't see before. So I do think that it has a positive purpose. But I know Mercury retrograde, it kind of has a bad rap, you know, in the astrology scene. So just some things to keep in mind. So I know Emily, here's what we're going to do. Oh, here we go. Here's your question. We're going to go with Emily, and then we'll see who is next. I'll check in with Solange. So I'm looking for a career move. Wanted to see if it's time for me to move on with a job, start a new biz, get a new job. Okay. So I'm going to tune into you. I'm just pulling a few cards and decks over here. So I would like for you, Emily, just to hold that question in your heart. I'm just connecting in with you, just seeing what I can feel in terms of the energy. Yeah, if there's anybody that you want to invite into this conversation, that is up to you, but I'm just going to tune in and then I'll start doing the reading, okay? So I do want to pull two cards for you. Okay. So the Four of Air card is the first one that's coming in. And the Four of Air card, it's talking about rest, vacation, allowing more time before making a decision, meditation to provide answers. And so it's a feeling right now that it's not time to necessarily like rush and jump the gun on just finding and figuring it out quickly. Not that you were by any means, but things are unfolding at a specific pace for a specific reason. So instead of sort of wanting it to go faster, wanting to get to the answer faster, what I'm feeling right now for you, Emily, is like to just let it unfold and to like settle in and because I do feel like it does take some energy to start new things, which can be a good thing. I feel like it really gets us out of our comfort zone, but it feels like you just like kind of focusing on you and taking some extra moments when you can to rest. There's something about that feels important right now. I keep getting a few things coming in about the grounding as well. So they're showing me like, they're almost showing me kind of like a little bit of like a dizzy feeling, or it might be like a lightheaded feeling. So I don't know if sometimes you get like that. It doesn't feel like medical or any reason. It kind of just feels like it's more energetic. But I just am seeing them bring through a lot of like the tree energy, a lot of the grounding energy. I'm curious if that would make sense for you, Emily, because they're kind of showing like, okay, when you feel like this and when this happens, just make sure that you ground. What is really apparent that I think might give you some insight in terms of like, because it seems like you're like job, biz, different job, this support, but like if you see this sort of I think it's called the caduceus, it's like that medical symbol. Like what I really connect in with this card is divine feminine energy, as well as the energy of like healers and people that are working in a support role. So what I feel like they're sort of pointing you towards is out of those categories, whatever one resonates with that. It might be multiple of them. It might be one that stands out, that jumps out. But I just feel like that is it just feels like kind of like a natural unfolding. And what I see is that you just kind of keep like walking and sort of doing your thing. And I see you walking down a kind of mystical path where it seems like fairies would hang out and stuff. And that's like the metaphor I'm getting. And it just feels like things show up and ideas show up. So it feels more of like a natural unfolding rather than a go figure it out. The first card that we had pulled, the air card, is also very much about like the mind and the intellect and the thinking. And so it does feel like it's sort of like, hey, let's just take it easy. Let's just kind of like hang out. Let's just enjoy the scenery and, you know, what we have going on right now. And like, it's coming, more's coming. That's the energy that I'm getting. So I'd love to hear, Emily, if there's something that stands out, if there is something, that you've been exhausted. Okay. Yeah. I feel like just like this, like other like majestic unicorn, maybe that's like spirit being like, girl, you need a nap right now. You just need to chill. But I'm glad there was something in there. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it feels like it's unfolding, like just sort of relaxed into it in general and just like allow it to come and show up. That's like the bottom line of it. So thank you. I'm glad to have you here tonight. So Solange, hello.
Hello.
What are the, what's the number that we're up to right
I've
now? I
been,
know we did one.
yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people here, but we are up to number 3 now. We have
Okay.
Melissa and Monica, number 2 and number
Okay.
3.
Okay. I think we should just go in that order. So Melissa and then Monica, right? 2, 3.
Right.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And Vanessa
Cool. Oh, and
had
then
615.
actually Vanessa.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah,
not
Vanessa,
here.
are you here? She's not here yet. Okay. So we could, we will be fitting her in. Thanks, Solange. We will be fitting in Vanessa because do you have a group reservation? I feel like I'm like back in my old restaurant days. But anyway, if you guys can get in on that as well. If you guys do ever want to join my group, if you're in the group already, it's called How to Make Money Being Magical. And I always put out a little before the readings like, hey, 3 reservation spots open so that you guys can just sneak in. Yes. So there's Vanessa. So we're going to do Vanessa and then we'll go to Melissa and Monica. And so Vanessa, let me know if there's a question or something specific that you want to look at. And then Solange, I think that Emily needs a number. Okay. Okay. So Vanessa, do we want to do a specific question, Vanessa, or should we do something specific? Well, I'm just going to start tuning into you, and then if I look up, then maybe there's a question. Okay. Vanessa, first off, I'm like curious, also interesting. Teaching. Okay. Okay. So, two things of interest. I feel like I don't get a lot of animal energy, but I feel like there's like a horse energy that shows up with you. So I am curious if that resonates, if that is an animal that you work with in spirit, if it means something to you, if it triggers any kind of a memory. If it doesn't, where I would point you is to like go and look up like horse spirit animal or horse totem, and just see what is there. Just see what is there. Okay, so you're asking, should I start concentrating on teaching shamanic Reiki? Shamanic Reiki. So what they're showing me is that there's something going on that, other than what's going on for everybody, it feels like there's maybe an extra layer that just feels like things have been a little bit different right now. So it feels like there's a sense of like, hey, like just be gentle on yourself. Like definitely just, it feels like there's some extra layer that I don't even know that you and I have talked about, but some other layer of thing that's going on that they're just sort of acknowledging, and they're just like, yeah, things have been a little backwards and kind of wonky lately on top of all this other stuff in 2020. So I see that being acknowledged and being talked about. There is, this is all the other reason that I reacted is like I shuffled the cards around a little, and then this 4 of Air card comes in for you as well. And so I always think it's interesting when a card reappears, especially right after the other reading. This sacrifice card comes in, number 44. I just wanted to point that out because I feel like 4s or 444 or 4 is also bringing in a message. The connection that I have with the 4 is bringing a grounding into spirituality. So I do feel like that's really important to you, like bringing in like things from the spiritual realm, and they're saying from the angelic realm as well, and sort of really grounding it down into things that are practical, that people have practical uses. My sense is that that is very much a part of your role. But this sacrifice card, the energy that I'm feeling from it right now is that it feels like an energy of putting a goal on like a pedestal. I'm seeing like an image almost of like a little girl that's like trying to get something on off of a shelf and it's kind of feels like it's just out of reach, but there's like a step stool right there and you can kind of just like get on it and be like, oh, like it was totally within reach all the time. That's the energy that enters in with this with you. It does talk about, I mean, that same energy of the 4 of Air card, the energy of the intellect, the energy of taking time to rest and allowing, it says allowing more time before making a decision. And so it is also feeling like a time of integration and kind of settling in at the same time. And it makes me curious if that might be something. Like, I don't know if you've had a bunch of different activations or rebirth kinds of stuff that's now integrating, and it's sort of like this is all, it all feels very energetic. I don't feel like there's anything physical that's stopping you. It just feels like things had to happen in this certain time to prepare you for it. let me just go with the pendulum for this one, since it kind of feels a little bit of a less yes/no vibe. And I feel like I know sometimes we're just like, girl, just tell me the answer. Just like give me yes, is this happening? I mean, I feel like you're from this world as well, so I don't think you expect that. But like, I know that sometimes we just want a yes or a no. So I do feel like the pendulum. I feel like the pendulum can be useful for that. So I'm just gonna check here. Let me actually pull up while we're at it. What's coming up for you, Vanessa? I know you're saying you work with your animal spirit animal lately. Melissa will go to you next. Let me just do a quick yes now. Sometimes I get way too, I always say like, oh, quick readings. And then I just keep going down the rabbit hole. I keep talking. So I think I need to work on brevity sometimes. But okay. So shamanic. Wait. Okay. I am getting a big yes. I'm getting kind of like the heart beating with it, kind of like a sense of, I don't know, anticipation. It almost feels as though like things are going to be different now than if you would have launched it otherwise. So yes, I'm going to leave it there. We'll leave it there. Okay. So I know we were going to go to Melissa. Let's go to Melissa. And then we'll go to Monica, and then we'll kind of check back in and see where we're at numbers wise. Melissa. Okay. So Melissa, I've been having a tough time deciding what to do with my life. I got a lot of options, but I don't know what to do. I guess my question is, what am I meant to do? Okay. What deck do I want? This one. Okay. Melissa. Yeah. Okay, Melissa. Um, okay. So there's a few things that are coming in, Melissa. The first is that they said to me that you already know how to sing the song of your soul, that you can tell when you're in tune and in flow with that frequency. And I feel like I get so much tingling on my crown right now. It's confirmation, but that you, on the soul level, I think you as Melissa in this lifetime know already that I feel like it's sort of like the intellect and the mind that tell you otherwise. There's two cards that I pulled, and these are both from the Life Purpose decks, the books and the teaching. And sorry, I'm like trying to like overlap them, and that wasn't working out very well. I'm hooking into learning. I'm hooking into esoteric wisdom. And also, it's sort of like a sense of the way that you translate things, the way that you translate the knowledge. And so I know that you were doing readings. Like I know that, and what I want to bring through for you is that the readings is kind of in many ways just a vehicle to pull through the wisdom and to voice it. It's kind of just like a tool and a platform to do that. And what I feel like, and let me know how this feels for you, because ultimately everything that I say, everything that anybody says, like run it through your filters and you will feel intuitively if there's a connection. And maybe it's just a piece of it, or maybe what I say sparks something else or confirms an idea that you had, but hey, sometimes that's enough, and that's exactly what's needed. And what I'm feeling for you is that it doesn't feel like teacher in a classroom. It's not like kindergarten teacher. It is the sense of like being this always curious, always wanting to learn, always wanting to grow, and that it very much feels like your soul came into this experience to consume all of that stuff, right? To kind of consume all this knowledge and wisdom. And it does feel like a lot of, I don't use the word esoteric, but they are using the word esoteric wisdom. So I don't know if that means something to you. And pulling that in, and it kind of almost feels like, in some ways, the way that it was written, like, might not land with some people, but the way that you share it out, like when you almost kind of like put it through the Melissa filter, that it adds a different energy to it, but it becomes meaningful for people now. It becomes wisdom that they can grow and learn from. And yeah, so I just feel like I want to almost just call you like a translator of this like esoteric wisdom. And I feel like there's going to be different vehicles and different paths. So don't obsess so much on the what you do or sort of how you're doing it. Once you get tuned to just the energy and the frequency of it, things show up in your path that are aligned with it. And so I almost like want you to, it's kind of like reverse engineering it, finding the frequency first, finding that soul calling kind of purpose that's really at the root of it, and then knowing that all of the different pathways for you to do it, since there's a lot of options with how that could be get expressed, and just know that it's likely something that you're doing already in the small moments as well, and that purpose doesn't have to be purpose. Like, purpose is us just like existing at our true essence, like more and more like ourselves, like just being more and more us. Like that's really at the core. So if there's something that speaks to you there, I think it's just yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. Yes. Okay. So I'll be curious to see what that is. So I do want to go to I said I was going to go to Monica, and then I'll check back in. So Monica, let me know what your question is. I did want to pull a quick card. So it's going to be about halfway through lunch, like 30-ish minutes in. Okay, so I'm going to pull a quick card for, it'll be quick, Monica, and then I'll go to you. I have a one-on-one client that lives in a totally different time zone that can't always join because it's super late. So I promised that I would pull one for her. And she had a question related to like books and things like that. So I'll make this one quick. And then Monica, I'll pull you in. Okay, so the let go and the sensitivity cards, talking about becoming more and more energetically sensitive and letting go, walking away from situations to resolve it. Let's see. So what I'm feeling, it feels like a future thing in terms of like the question that you brought in for the book. It feels like, it feels more like a glimpse of the energy and the space that you're in and like who you've become. And I feel like for whatever reason, it's sort of like, it's de-emphasizing the book nature of it. What it feels like is that you might be having that glimpse or that information coming in. It might be a path that you go on. I don't really feel like that's like the core of the importance. What I'm picking up around that is that it feels like, wow, like look at how much has changed. Look at who you've become. Look at how you stepped into the world. Look at how many people are seeing your work, and look at how many possibilities there is to share your work beyond what you might have thought. And so for me, it comes in as a reminder to be open to the possibilities that in which things can unfold, the many ways that things can unfold, and that you can share your work and that you can share your light. And so yeah, I think that I just want to leave it there. That sounds like enough. And then I'm going to go to Monica. So this is, I'm struggling in my role, in my corporate job. And while I'm getting Reiki off the ground, I need to know if I'll be able to excel at the company that I'm working for. What direction you see that going in. Okay. Yes. Let me. Yeah. Something starts bringing attention to my throat chakra as soon as we connect with your energy. So I just want you to be focused on empowering that chakra, your voice. And it very much feels like it's connected to your choices as well, like voicing your choices with power. I don't know who that might be for, but I almost like see some family conversations or a close friend conversation, somebody that might be questioning. And so that comes in. Okay. Okay. Wow. This card is awesome. It's the King of Earth card. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities that you're offered. The Midas touch. So, a few things. I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I'm connecting in very much to like the rainbow that's off into the corner with this. You know, it's kind of like in Reiki, how when you get attuned, like, you know how they say that over 21 days, like the energy cycles through the main chakras. They're showing me you kind of like doing that process on your own. And it looks like a bit of a process of like journaling and kind of like cycling through and then going back. It kind of feels like a big like purge fest that's like initiated by you. But instead of somebody else like doing an attunement or that sort of initiation, it kind of feels like it's like a self-guided healing journey, which is interesting. I want you to focus on the womb chakra, and because I know that's not usually included in the 7, and I just want to point you there because it does feel like I think that as you activate yourself like in this space, it just feels very, very connected. I want to reconnect with like something that I don't remember everything that I said, but I remember, gosh, maybe it was like a few years ago now, of like seeing something intuitively. And I thought about it like as I've been seeing you post in the last few weeks, that I'm just like, wow, like I remember like very clearly seeing you being in kind of like a training kind of capacity, like a teacher kind of capacity, and having like things that you were leading online. And so from what I know about you, that does feel aligned with your business. And I do feel like what is going to happen is that like you've collected a lot of different goodies and skill sets and things through the path of your professional career. And I feel like there's some kind of like hybrid thing where instead of just being like, I either do this in corporate and that's separate and over here, and then I do this with Reiki or shamanism, it kind of feels like as you integrate these different parts of you, and I think that that's sort of the work of sort of flowing through the different chakras, that a more expressed creative version of you shows up through sort of like the Reiki business and the Reiki work. With the company that, the only message I got like related to the company is like, there was like the words that things kind of feel like they were going sideways. So I don't know if that's like something going on with the company not doing well, if it's something that is going on with like the person that you work for, or sort of your own enjoyment of the role. But that's like what they showed me in terms of the company. Because this King of Earth card, like coming in, I feel like, hey, that's like a pretty beautiful card. Successful time, accept opportunities. So just remain open, because that's showing me that, hey, there's a lot of choice that you have. So yes. Thanks, Monica. Okay. Hi, Solange. What number are we on?
Hi, we are up to number 8.
8. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So I know we have done Melissa. Okay. Okay. So let's do 5. And you guys, I know some of you guys joined after, but we're kind of bouncing around a little bit. So I'm going to try to pick up my pace a little bit so that we can get as many people messages as possible. Let's go 5, 7, and then 4. Who are those names?
Okay, 5 is Emily, 7 is Grace,
Okay.
and 4 is Tone.
Grace. Okay.
Some of them just left the
So,
questions there.
wait, 5, 7, and then 4 is what I said, I think, right?
Yeah, 5 Emily, 7 Grace, and 4 Tone.
Okay. Okay. So Emily, I'm not sure if you have your question. Okay, here we go. And then Grace, I'll pull yours after. So having a hard time getting grounded with PTSD affecting everything going on. Okay, let me see what we got. So I feel like there's a connection here with like fully almost like a physical practice. Like I feel like I see things with like herbs, like kind of similar to how we might use sage as like a physical tool, and it's like something that comes from the earth. Like I feel like I'm seeing you actually find different things. Crystals. My eyes went directly to like crystals, and it feels like physical tactile practices that call you back into your body are really important. This crow shows up, and so I do want you to just look up crow as a spirit animal or animal totem, because what I connect in with and associate with crows is that they are very protective energy. And so my sense, Emily, is that there's animal energy that's actually wanting to show up to support you and to really kind of nurture you and be like, hey, like you can call on me. Like you have to ask. Obviously, there's free will choice, but I feel like there's a kind of underutilized spiritual support. So I do want to point you in that direction to look up animal totem for the crow, or animal, spirit animal crow, and see what's there for you. See what the message is, to invite in that energy if it feels resonant. And then, if there's access that you have, or if you can like find it, like just like physical, tactile things that end up being kind of more of like grounding routines that you do. I feel like, I don't know why I'm seeing you like sip on tea, like some kind of like, it feels like a grounding ritual. I feel like maybe like an herbal tea is why I'm seeing it, but yes, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Grace. Let's see if Grace has, and then we'll go to Tony. Grace, do you have a specific question? I was looking through. Okay. I feel like I want to do this deck for you. So I can just pull. Thanks, Emily. Okay. I'm feeling so much energy, it's hard to stand back. Okay. So Grace. Yeah. The card that I pulled for you is Freya, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. So, yeah, so much energy. I want to point you towards slowing down and coming up with your, when it says discernment, it feels like almost like your check-in process, your self-check-in process. And so I feel like you already had maybe like a journaling kind of process. I really get the sense that you're in demand right now, that you're stepping into your power. People are noticing that a lot of people are kind of flocking to you and wanting to be around you because they feel that energy. And so it seems like really good stuff that's surrounding you when you're saying it's a lot of energy. But yeah, I could see how it could feel like a lot, right now. And just know that there's certain people that will, and situations and things that you say yes to that are going to recharge you and to rejuvenate you. And there's certain things that kind of take from your energy and your light a little bit. So just, I feel like that might be a check-in question, a possible one. The other thing that I'm seeing is like really locking in and kind of tuning into like who you're becoming and the impact that you want to make. And sometimes that just is like, you could let go of that and just do things that are fun and just feel like expressive for you. But yeah, I feel like just slow down in terms of like who you say yes to. And I feel like this is a time for you to say no more often and to just like not feel, very bad about it. That just, it's okay. I feel like you're just in demand right now. And that's okay. That's a good thing. Okay. I'm curious if that resonates because that was kind of a random message. So Tony, not sure if you had a specific question. I'm kind of just scrolling along and then we'll go to the next people. Okay, so I'm going to ask Solange, I'm going to bring you back in. And I wanted to share with you guys as well that I have my Upwork course that launched. So I'll drop a link in the comments if that calls to you. I like Upwork because it's basically a freelance marketplace, and it's really good if you're a freelancer or a coach or you have any kind of like virtual service oriented thing that you do. Like pretty much everything under the sun exists there, and you don't have to rely as like a new business person on having like an audience or an email list. So yes, I will drop the link in the first 4 modules if you're just like, what is Upwork? Like all of the first like 4 modules, there's multiple videos. It's unlocked, so you could just like go in and check it out and like see if it's like a place for you or you want to make money and attract clients. But okay, so Tony, are you here still? I know your name is spelled Tones, but I remember you telling me it's toning. So chime in. I didn't know if you were still here, if you have a question. Solange, what number are we on? What number are we up to?
Are up to number 8, but I was just missing, I was checking and I missed Lisa as well. So we will be up to number 9.
Okay.
With
okay.
Lisa.
Okay, so Tony, drop your question. Okay, you're here, so I'm going to do you next. And then let's do 4 and then 6. Oh, so Tony,
4.
And then who's number 6?
Yeah. Number 6 is Jessica. And then
Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Let's just do those 2 and then I'll tune back in to you and we'll see. Okay.
Right.
Okay, Tony. Did my sister's half sibling enjoy the flowers in a photo with a frame I got for her? She passed away. I tried doing meetings with her. I can't say that I'm like the absolute best at tuning in when it comes to mediumship. I feel like it's like sometimes there's energy that shows up when you're open and you're reading somebody. I feel like spirit can kind of just sense that opening, and it's kind of like a repeating energy. What I'll do is I'll pull a card, and we'll see if there's any message there, or anything that you connect with her, or anything that shows up on the card. But I can't always say that I'm like that's my strong suit in terms of readings. So Lisa, I'll do you next actually, because I know you're in the UK, Lisa. So I'll do yours after this, and then I'll do Jessica, just to get you in, because I know you probably are exhausted. Okay, so the 5 of Fire card is coming in. It's talking about completing goals, bothersome details, or conflict with others. There's a sense of like a tug of war or a fight. So I'm just gonna like pull through kind of what I'm getting. Like, I don't know if with this person there might have been, when I say kind of fight, it could be like a disagreement between friends or family, or it could be like a fight in the end, in terms of like maybe cancer, for instance, was like involved, that there could potentially be sort of like a fight for the life kind of energy. But I just feel that is being referenced. I don't know if that means anything to you. Again, not necessarily my specialty, but in terms of for you, the 5 of Fire card is coming in. So I just want you to simplify the way that you are thinking about your goals in your day, because I just get the sense with you, Tony, that you're just being really hard on yourself, that it's time for you to just very much focus on your wins and focus in on what you're doing right. And it's like, instead of, it feels like trying to do like 10 things at once, just be like, right now I'm just going to do this. Like, I'm sure you're great at multitasking. I can see that you're a mom, so you're probably a badass at it. But like, I just feel like right now it's important for you to just kind of simplify things. Okay, so Lisa, I think Lisa, you were saying something about your purpose, right? I'm trying to scroll to you, Lisa. I can see it. Okay. Purpose, yeah. So something just that we're seeing in terms of purpose. Yes, okay. I'm going to do this smaller one, and then Jessica will go to you after. Okay. Oh, sorry, I meant to put you up, Lisa. There you go. But yes, I feel like it's all kind of like, mediumship is not my strong suit, but I feel like those fall under the umbrella in which like I'm a better energy translator. I almost feel just kind of like there's different languages that people speak. For me, it feels like I'm just more well-versed in translating those energies. And yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Okay. So I pulled 2 cards for you, Lisa. I did pull this like teacher card, and it's not necessarily just the way that it looks in like a kindergarten classroom. You inspire, but it says you inspire young people to learn. I feel like it's a different flavor of teaching. And this artist card is coming in as well. Engaging in artistic activities is beneficial to you, your career, and every other aspect of your life. I'm feeling for you this sense of something like around solutions, that creative solutions is sort of like the way I'm connecting in with the artistry thing. It feels like if there's like a knot, like that's the metaphor that I'd have, kind of like shoelaces or something that we're all tied up in a knot and it's very entangled. Whereas people might kind of pull and tug and like try to force it, and it just knots it more. I feel like you have this way of untangling things for people, of sort of like separating different elements out and seeing it very clearly. The way that they're describing it to me, it's almost as if like you don't yet like realize that you have this gift, and because it is probably something that you've just like done naturally. And pay attention as well if you feel like if you've gotten frustrated with like, why can't other people do it, or like, why aren't they getting it? Like it very much feels like you have this ability to see things and sort of untangle things in a different way, as if like you're able to set each different component of someone's challenge on the table and really be like, oh, well, it's really simple because I see this there. Whereas in their mind and in their head and the way that it exists in their body, it's like sort of like so tangled and knotted up. And so for you, because it's a gift, like I feel like very much it's kind of just like not going to feel like you're doing anything. And I know that the big thing with like the healers and the light workers is that we feel like we're being ourselves, and that it's hard for us to attach value or to charge someone, because we're just like, I'm not doing anything. I just sort of am talking to them. And it does feel like that. It totally feels like that. Yeah, just trust that, and like find, I feel like the artist thing is also pointing towards like, I think you have like a crafty side to you. I think that means a few things to you when I say it. But they're just saying like lean into the crafty side, and that also it opens energies in you. It sort of stirs things up in you. So yes, I hope that gave you something good. So Jessica, I'm gonna go to you, and then we'll see if we can maybe fit in one more. Okay. Are the small business and networking opportunities that I've been working on, are they worth the time and effort, or will the corporate position advance? Okay, let's go to this deck for you. Hi, Jessica. I feel like you are just filled with a lot of joy whenever I like think about you or like see photos of you. That's like, just makes me happy, and I'm just like, good Jessica. So just reflecting that back at you. And I'll pull a card. Okay. So the first thing that they're acknowledging is that like you're finally getting to the point where it feels like you can breathe, like that you have, it feels like a sense of like kind of like safety and knowing. I don't know if that feels like personal life, work life, maybe a mix of both. The throat chakra comes in for you as well. And my sense is that I feel like an energy of, it almost feels like a burning. It almost feels like that there's like a energy that's trapped there from like not saying things, like that, or like that sense of like words being kind of choked back. So I just want you to pay attention to that, because that's what I feel as soon as I connect in with you. It's very prominent. It's sometimes my attention is brought there, and it happened like more intensely. So it gets very much like things being held back, things being kind of choked back. And so that's first off really important for you to just to notice and get curious about. So the wheel, Archangel Metatron, a time of positive change, a situation suddenly moves forward, and fortune is on your side. Let me check in on a few things. So corporate position, I'm feeling like if you want to advance, if it feels good for you, I feel like those possibilities are totally opening. In terms of like business stuff, I feel like I see you going a different direction. Archangel Michael comes in like related to purpose. So the family card showed up. It's talking about loving your friends and family is central to your life purpose. And so I just wanted to reflect that. Is there a desire in you? Like, I don't get this card very often, or this like thought. Is there a desire in you possibly to have another kid or to expand your family in some way? Because I feel like career and professional wise right now, it feels like they're pointing towards the family, and it's kind of just like feels like that is your focus. And not to say that I feel like I'm such a proponent and an advocate of like having many parts of yourself. So it's not to say that you don't do these other things, but it's to say like that it seems like your priority is like what creates the right space and like kind of logistical things for you and your family, as well as what sort of feeds and nourishes you and energizes you versus takes energy away. Archangel Michael is like more about diving deep into the purpose. And it is about like having such alignment and feeling like if your business is something that you're basically utilizing and sort of like you might not be spending the same time with your family if you're like doing a business. And so it feels like it really does have to like feed and nourish a part of you in order for it to make sense for you to give that time away, that it has to like almost be this portal where you get to like fully express who you are and like have fun with other adults and like really feel like, yes, like that is just so fun. I feel like I'm like refreshed and a better mom. Okay. I'm gonna start showing. Okay. Yes. Thank you for that confirmation. So yeah, I feel like that corporate position, I feel like for some reason I'm not feeling like what you have now. It doesn't mean that you can't find that connection, but my sense is with Archangel Michael's card showing up that there might not be like a soul like hell yes kind of connection to it, and that the path feels like very open in terms of if you choose to do corporate, it feels like that is very much it feels like in the coming months. I'm feeling like early next year ish. But yeah, I do feel like kind of I kind of see you finding something else. I see you finding something else. That makes sense. Okay. Solange, would it be okay if we did one more? I know that I don't want to keep you. You can hop off after because I want to honor your time as well for helping me tonight.
That's okay for me. No problem.
Okay. Maybe how many people do we have waiting?
We are up to number 10. I don't know if they're all here still.
Okay.
You can try.
So tell me 8, 9, and 10. Whoever's still here, I'll do 3 like very kind of quick card pulls. I know I always say that,
Okay.
Solange probably knows. I'm always like, I'm gonna do faster tonight. I just want to try to give you guys a quick message, maybe like a few sentences, and we'll keep it brief, and then we'll end there. So, if you were number 8, 9, or 10, just drop your question.
Actually, 9 is already, so it's done. We have number 8, Kelsey. I don't know if
Kelsey, okay.
And then Dana, number 10.
Kelsey and who else?
Dana.
Donna, okay. Oh, Dana. Perfect. And thank you, Solange. You can totally hop off whenever you are, whenever you want, just to honor your time. Thank you. Okay. Kelsey Jean. Okay, Kelsey. And then Dana, put your question as well. Do you guys have a specific, well, here's what we'll do. We'll just do general, just general reading. Just see what's there. See what's there. Okay. So Kelsey, the World card. Archangel Michael, a job well done, joy, contentment, gratitude, the path towards enlightenment. So this is very much like a completion kind of celebration energy. The energy of everything that you have worked for is like coming into fruition. I feel like things, energy kind of carries you, like a sense of things advancing very quickly. So I just want to, it feels like a celebration and a confirmation. I think that you'll know what it connects to, but that's what I got for you. And then Dana, we'll end with you. Should I continue on with my current journey or my passion, even if the path is harder? Ooh, okay. Dana, let's see what we got for you. Hi, Dana, by the way. Okay. So 9 of water cards. So the water cards are very much about the emotions. It's saying your wish comes true, concerns fade away, and a love of life. Love of life. Okay. Things feel sensitive right now, Dana, like is what I'm feeling. Things feel like tender. And I just want to name that my sense with you is that there's kind of like that your emotions have been lower lately, like, and I don't want you to make any decisions based on that because it feels temporary. It feels like kind of just one of those normal speed bumps. And so if that's something that you've been feeling, kind of feeling like a little bit disheartened, feeling like a little bit lost and like stuck lately, that's sort of like the energy that I'm feeling of sort of like something that kind of like takes the wind out of your sails because yeah, it's just kind of a feeling of like discouragement. So I'm curious if that's what you've been feeling a bit with this path. Because a water card is coming in, you'll notice like I mean, she's kind of like partway submerged in the water, and the water, I mean, it's a little bit choppy, you know. I feel like if someone was in a like a kayak or something, you know, they might get splashed a little bit. It might be like, you know, a little bit challenging, I could see, to navigate those waters. But I feel like there's with the path that you have chose, like it does feel very much around like related to your development right now. So what I wanted to say for you, Dana, is like to kind of ride out this emotional storm, to not make any decisions or changes with what you're doing, and that what you chose, it's like there's like all this treasure and like beauty that's under the water, that when you dive and do the inner work, that's what I'm kind of seeing in terms of like this mermaid on the card kind of diving beneath the surface and doing the inner work of what you're going through and experiencing right now. Like that's where all the gems come through, and that is like one of the reasons that you're going through this. So the sooner that you can do that inner work, it feels like the quicker that this will pass and you can move on to different things, to move on to different experiences. So just make sure that you're not avoiding it, because I feel like sometimes we can kind of like we can kind of look outside ourselves for answers, and I just want you to turn back inward. But thanks, Dana. I hope that I'll be curious to hear if that landed for you. So I do have a group that I'd love for you guys to join. So I'm just putting the name down there. It's called How to Make Money Being Magical. It is about business, specifically the divine feminine approach to business. And yeah, join me in there if you would like. There's a lot of content in there and things that I post. I am here every Tuesday. And if you're in the group, you can always do a little reservation just to make sure that for next week, you make sure that you get in and you get your spot, you get your reading. But yeah, I'm just happy to spend this evening with you. I'm happy to spend time with you. And if there's any questions that you have, the group's a really good place to ask them. I'm here to support you. So thank you guys. Have a good night. I'll see you.